Listener discretion advised. Fuck it, free speech, motherfucker!
Podcast presents information based on theory and conjecture. Critter's purpose is to suggest some possible explanation, but not necessarily the only ones to the mysteries we will examine. Remember, everything that you hear from this podcast comes from sources on the internet, and remember, if it's on the internet, it should be taken with a grain of salt and judge it by your own discretion.
Something wrong with the world, the perception led you to research and ask questions, and those questions led you to answers which led you here, to this small pocket dimension in the dark corner of the multiverse. Welcome to the Of Dark Matters podcast, where we discuss topics of the occult, conspiracy, the paranormal, and world news. And now, your hosts, MoJoE the Mad and Dr.Clutch.
Good evening. Some people move through life with a comforting assumption that reality is a settled matter, that the world is exactly what it appears to be, that strange events happen to other people, and then there are those who discover otherwise. A light where no light should be, a creature that leaves tracks, but no explanation. A moment that refuses to fit inside the accepted rules of the world. Our guest tonight knows something about such moments, and Jenifer Hicks is an experiencer of unexplained phenomena, including encounters involving UFOs, cryptids, and other mysteries that seem to exist just beyond the reach of conventional understanding. But perhaps more importantly, she has spent years listening to witnesses, listening to experiencers, listening to ordinary people who found themselves standing face to face with something extraordinary. As a host of Creepy Culture, she has created a gathering place for those stories, a place where encounters are examined rather than dismissed, and where recurring details are viewed not as coincidences, but as possible clues. Because sometimes the most important question isn't whether a story sounds strange. The question is why strangers sometimes tell remarkably similar stories. Why do certain patterns repeat? Why do certain symbols reappear? Why do experiences separated by thousands of miles sometimes seem connected by invisible threads? Perhaps there are answers, or perhaps the answers only lead to deeper questions. That possibility would not have surprised Philip K. Dick, who once suggested that reality is that which, when you stop believing in it, doesn't go away. The trouble begins when something you don't believe in refuses to go away. Tonight, we explore that possibility with a woman who has been walking the uncertain boundary between the known and the unknown. Our guest tonight is Jenifer Hicks. And if reality is stranger than we've been led to believe, this may be one of those evenings when the cracks in the facade become just a little easier to see. Welcome to the Of Dark Matters podcast.
You're welcome. Yes, welcome to the Of Dark Matters podcast. I am MoJoE the Mad, here to take you down and delve into the strange, the bizarre, the unusual, the unexpected. And we are together, all together today, with Jenifer Hicks Yes, the crowd loves that. Play, crowd. Clap, crowd.
Clap crowd. Yes.
Yes. So tonight, before we get started, as we normally do on our podcast, we start off with a bit of a. If you could play that for me, Clutch. If you could get into the. How was your week? Because I'm having a little bit of an issue here, as things have frozen. So if you could play "How was your week" for me, that would be great.
Certainly. Here we go. All right.
Yes, this is a
your
segment we call "How was your week," and it's where we go over our week. Without further ado, Dr. Clutch, how was your week?
Pretty good. Pretty good. My kitchen and living room remodeling project is finished. I have closed out my storage unit, and I am now unpacking boxes like I moved in for just the very first time once again. There was no water skiing yesterday because of the federal holiday. But it will happen next Friday, so that's good. Other than that, things are going okay. How about you, Jenifer? How was your week?
I've been a slacker all week.
Slacker all week?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Up, done. I was behind on a lot of things, but I'm trying to catch up. It was just overwhelming, so I was a slacker, kind of.
Were you binge watching anything or doom scrolling anything, or just not even doing that?
No, just listening to music and Sasquatch Chronicles I'm behind on, but other than that.
Not so bad. And MoJoE, how was your week?
Well, I had a very heavy work week. Getting hit up by different guests that would like to come on our show, which is really interesting. My work week has been really heavy. Had to face my own anxieties and my own pride to go back to a place I didn't want to, and I did it anyway. So I'm here. Yes, the crowd did like that one right there.
You're getting some max headroom on your camera.
I know, I'm getting
nice
max headroom here. Yeah, hi. Yeah.
It's not as bad as you think it is, but
yeah, you know, whatever. The show must go on, and I'm here. Welcome, Lawrence of the Netherlands. Welcome, Whispering Portals. Thank you for both being here today.
With us, or
in the audience, yes. What else did I do? I just worked on this show. That's about it. Worked on it with you over the week. It's been kind of nice and it's been kind of quiet and a little bit uneventful for me. Other than having a very heavy workload at work, I've been all right, man. Just, at times just trying to, I've been not listening to as much news or doom scrolling myself. I have replaced doom scrolling with audiobooks. So I've been listening to
yes.
I just finished listening to A Crack in Space by Philip K. Dick.
Okay.
And it's one of his earlier books. For those that are out there, I recommend it. The plot is basically it's an overcrowded Earth in the year 2067 or 70 or something like that. And they found a way to go back in time just a little bit, right? But most of the people are unemployed, and they get their first black president. And at least in the book, it was 1965. There's a floating brothel that is a satellite around the Earth because they don't want people to reproduce because there's too many people on the planet.
Floating brothel.
Yeah. And it's weird that the politics of the world is like the liberal socialist Republicans versus the conservative nationalist Democrats. Okay, and so they're fighting amongst each other about this world that they find because there's some sort of an anomaly with one of the engines of this timepiece or whatever that lets you go back in time a little bit, that sends them to an alternate Earth that's completely inhabited by a technological, although it doesn't seem like they're too technological, but they're basically like proto-human. I guess they refer to them as similar to the Peking Man, and they make airships out of wood and engines out of wood. It's pretty crazy.
Airships out of wood, just like
Yeah.
in the early 1900s. Yes.
Well, like in the thing, humanity didn't develop. It was this race of Peking, like upright ape men. And then as we're trying to colonize the Earth, they decide to turn the tables on us and colonize Washington D.C. and it was pretty interesting book. But yeah, I've been doing that. I've been listening to Philip K. Dick and Robert Anton Wilson and a few others. I think my next book will be Kurt Vonnegut. I just kind of looking for what was once like counterculture or paranoid science fiction and just reminiscing about it.
Did you get a subscription to Audible, or how are you consuming?
I have Audible right now. Yeah, Audible.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Because I'm on the road all the time, and I do like to read an actual book. But when I'm on the road all the time, trying to pass the time or trying to just not get distracted by like the things around me, I just concentrate on an audiobook while I'm working, and works for me. So anyway,
Jen, you mentioned you listen to a lot of Sasquatch Chronicles. Do you also use Audible at all, or do you consume audiobooks?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Amazon. What's that called?
Amazon Prime, or well, they do have Audible. I think that's.
Yeah, I have I download stuff from Amazon to Kindle. I read it on my phone.
Oh, so you're old-fashioned reading, huh?
Yeah.
Every now and again, I'll break down and get an ebook, and then it seems like I almost never get around to it. But,
well, should we go with the get on with the interview then? Let's go
yes.
ahead and do that.
Do we have a
All right, so
sci-fi
here's the stinger. Yeah, we do.
Welcome to the Of Dark Matters special guest interview.
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice.
We welcome Jenifer Hicks to the show.
Thank you.
Host of the Creepy Culture podcast, friend of mine, and also you co-host to Monsters Unleashed. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Happy.
So we're good. So what got you started in cryptid lore, going into investigating cryptids?
I don't know really what got me started. I don't know. Probably because when I was younger, I had a UFO encounter. Probably. I've always been into it before that anyway, and I believed in Bigfoot always. So it was just
Did
never.
you believe in Bigfoot before you believed in UFOs, or
kind of
which
like
came
saying,
first?
it just was like it was never a question in my mind about UFOs and Sasquatch. I just always believed in them ever since I was a little kid. So.
Interesting. Yeah, for me, I was more inclined to believe in aliens, and then got into the Bigfoot world, and so I ended up doing a reverse. Everybody gets into it their own way. So you said you had a UFO encounter when you were younger. How young?
Well, I saw these shadow people when I was younger, and only since I've been older, I'm pretty sure those were aliens and not shadow people, because they had a conical head like a gray. So I think they've been probably making appearances since I was like 4 and 5 years old. So
I was checking out your Creepy Culture podcast channel the other day. You did go over some of that on the like your earlier episodes. And you said they in your own testimonial, you said they seemed to, like around age 12, they stopped appearing, but then you could still sort of feel their presence, even though you weren't able to see them anymore.
Yep.
Do you still feel the presence now and again, or?
I have not. It was only at my mom's house, in my room there. I have not been back there since 2013 because my mom passed away and we sold the house. But I can tell you, I could still feel them there till we sold that house. Whatever those were. I don't know if they were shadow people, or I just think it's kind of weird that the shadow people had a cone-shaped head like a small, short gray. also, I never heard anybody else say anything about shadow people having heads like that until I had Ash's Antics on my podcast, and I don't even know if he had prior knowledge of mine, but he literally came out and said that on my show, and I was like, what? You saw shadow people with great, shaped heads? And that's the only other person I know of in this entire world that's ever seen the same thing I did. So,
I guess in terms of the taxonomy of things, I guess these are shadow and night entities. So shadow people, Hat Man, Night Watchers, Dark Watchers, black figures with red eyes, and hooded entities. On your show, have you interviewed anybody else that's had or have you talked to many people that have had experiences with it seems like shadow people are pretty rare. Have you found I know you said you listened to Sasquatch Chronicles. There was a recent episode about, I think it was within the last year, of a guy who had a experience with several shadow figures. Did you hear that episode? Did you hear about that one?
probably did.
It was the one where he said they were, it looked like they were playing with lighters. And they were flicking a lighter, and he was in his car, and he thought it was like a bunch of teenage kids.
Oh, that sounds really familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty intriguing. Actually, I had what I think was a encounter with some type of shadow entity in my living room a while back, and it freaked me out because I didn't know about these things at all. I didn't know what I saw. I didn't know that. And then, like, after I found, after that happened, I started looking around for anything I could find on YouTube about, like, who knows anything about hooded figures or shadow figures, and I had a hard time finding stuff, but slowly but surely I was able to find some people that were talking about them. And I guess if you dig onto reddit.com, there's actual subreddits that will talk about shadow creatures, but pretty intriguing. Do you think they're connected to you think they're aliens?
But the shadow people?
Yeah. Do you think they're alien related, or
for most of my life I really thought the shadow people in my room were ghosts.
Ghosts, okay.
That's what I thought they were, okay? Until I got older and realized, hey, those things had cone-shaped heads. And then I saw other shadow people, and they were wispy. I don't know how to explain that. They were looked like human figures, and they were wispy. And I'm like, okay, if that's a shadow person I just saw, then what the heck was in my room with a cone-shaped head like a gray? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More solid. They were
Yeah.
solid. They weren't wispy or see-through. They were solid, like they were standing there. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the one I saw was more like wispy, like I guess you would call like a wraith, like yeah, like a ghost or a wraith.
Yeah. So then I started rethinking everything. Like, wait, I don't think those were shadow people, because the shadow people I've seen, as an adult, are not the same things that were in my room. So the reason I was saying they were shadow people when they were in my room is because I hadn't seen a different shadow person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only way I could describe it. That's what they looked like. They were darker than the dark, and they were standing, they were hovering over my face, basically. And I could only see them from the shoulders up. It was just their form, but their head was shaped like one of the little short grays, is what it looked like. I couldn't see any features or anything, just their shadows. So I called them shadow people. And then I got older and saw real shadow people, wispy ones. And I'm like, I don't think that's the same thing I've been seeing, So I think they're different.
Did you have a feelings associated with the encounter, or you like some people have a different feelings associated with these encounters. So they vary. Like, not everybody is terrorized, but some people are very terrorized.
If you're talking
what
about my
happened?
shadow people when I was little, it was pure terror.
Pure
Pure
terror.
terror. I was frozen and just terrified out of my. I couldn't even yell for my mom. Like nothing would even come out of my mouth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was terror. That's what that was. And the shadow people I've seen after that in houses or buildings, I'm just like, oh dang, there goes a shadow person. You know, it wasn't anything.
There's some encounters I've heard where these entities are actually able to, and I've heard this with alien encounters as well, where the entities actually understands that they're causing terror, and they have this ability to make the encounteree feel calm, and the person experiencing the encounteree, as it were, experiencing this is understanding that the entity is making them feel artificially calm. They're like, ordinarily I should be frightened out of my mind, but I'm not for some reason.
I've heard that as well.
Okay. But that hasn't happened to you, or
No.
no? Not yet, anyway.
It was just pure terror. I don't know if it's because I was a little kid or what, but it was.
Yeah, I would think I had a friend that he used to do, I guess, more like astral projection, lucid dreaming, where he was able to like do stuff in his dreams. And he said everything was going well until he kept running into these hooded figures, and then his astral projection experiences kind of came to a halt, and he was afraid to ever do that again, which I kind of thought was sad. But yeah, he felt extreme terror, I guess. That's what he said, which is unfortunate because I think if you're a lucid dreamer, it doesn't seem fair. Have you had any astral projection or lucid dream experiences that you know of?
No, thank goodness.
No. Oh, interesting. And
Not that I know of.
So your channel right now is mostly about cryptids or cryptid entities. When did you sort of pivot into so your channel's been up for about a year? There's about how many episodes? 25 episodes or so?
Something like that.
Yeah. What got you started into the cryptid thing, I guess?
Ran into some stuff where I live while I was out hiking, and for some reason I was naive and thought, you know, I knew there were Bigfoot in Ohio. I just didn't realize they were local, you know?
You didn't think they were like close to the town you lived in, or?
That's right. And
yeah.
I was out hiking, and you know, I start seeing stuff, and I still think I was not getting it until after I started my podcast. But I started my podcast because I'm just trying to learn. I'm trying to share people's experiences and pick patterns out and trying to understand. And honestly, even when I started my podcast, I still didn't believe Dogman was 100% real, or a pale crawler, a rake, whatever you want to call those, or, you know. But at this point, I don't doubt anything's real. I'm pretty sure everything they said isn't real probably is real at this point.
Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of come to that conclusion at some point. So you said you were saying before, while we were pre-gaming before the episode, you said you hadn't seen a Bigfoot, but I believe you've seen a Dogman entity. Do you think that's fair that you haven't seen a Bigfoot yet?
No, I was just talking about it with my friends, like Trisha and my other friend.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so weird. I've seen everything but a Bigfoot. I've seen their tracks. You know, I've took pictures of them. I've measured them. I found a whole trackway going to a local dump here where I live, which is Dayton, Ohio. And I've had one throw a rock at me. Well, I'm assuming it was a Bigfoot. I don't know what. Only because
what
I
else
found
throws rocks?
Footprint. Right. Well, I think Dogman could throw stuff, but it's
I
only
don't think
because,
I've heard reports of dogmen throwing stuff though. It's
well,
usually a
they got
people
hands.
thing. Yeah, they could throw stuff, but it always seems to be more
But yeah,
associated with Bigfoot.
I didn't see what threw a rock at me. Um, but I assumed it was a Bigfoot because that's the same place I found tracks at. Prior, um, I did hear it. I'm real disturbed by this. I went on a whole quest after this trying to understand because I seen it throw the rock. I seen the rock coming, and I seen it hit the ground, and then I heard something charging at me through the leaf litter, like crunch, crunch, crunch. I mean, heavy, bipedal. Didn't see a thing. And it's broad daylight. Can't see nothing, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, I even messaged Wes, like, do these things cloak? Because
Right, right, yeah.
I had something bluff charging me. I was freaking out. I have discovered now since then that they do cloak, that they
Right,
can go
I've heard that
invisible.
they do. Yeah.
Yep, that's fact.
There was actually a recent episode where Wes talked about that on Sasquatch Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the invisible bluff charge. Like you hear something
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing there.
You can feel it too. You can feel it, and you can hear it, and you know it's right in front of you, but you can't see it. And it's real annoying, and it's terrifying, and but they can do that.
Yeah, it's like
So,
a predator thing, like the movie Predator.
and I'm a huge Predator fan. So much, in fact, I have a Predator on my back. It's a tattoo, okay?
Oh,
So
Jesus.
don't think for 1 second I wasn't looking for a mirrored Predator when that happened, because I was.
Guess
I was
who's got
looking
Batgirl on his left cheek?
at-
It's on
It's
me.
not Batgirl, it's Catwoman. Yeah. And it's not
Yeah.
the left, it's the right.
But I
Oh,
was definitely
sorry.
looking. I was definitely looking for a mirrored creature, when that happened, because that's the first thing I thought. Oh my gosh, this thing's invisible like a predator. I was looking in the trees and everything, so I didn't see anything like. I saw nothing.
What's interesting, I've also heard it's almost the opposite with Sasquatch encounters as well, where like when they'll be tearing through a forest, but they move so gracefully and you can't hear footsteps. So it's almost like they choose to let you hear them or not hear them.
Yes.
So they can. So for something that weighs 1,000 pounds, you would expect the earth to be shaking every time they put their foot
Exactly.
down. And then sometimes they're just sort of gliding through the forest like they've got no feet at all, like they're just floating.
Yes, and that's very aggravating as well, because I've had that happen too.
It's interesting. Have you, when you saw something like that happen, did you see like trees move or?
Nope,
It's interesting.
nothing.
'Cause sometimes I'll hear about that, like that you'll hear the crashing through the trees, but you won't know how they're doing it.
Well, that's what happened with the whatever threw a rock at me that I couldn't see. I mean, I could hear everything. I knew it was standing not 20 feet in front of me, pacing back and forth, and I
Oh,
couldn't see.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And you could,
Yeah.
but you could hear the footsteps. You could hear footsteps, and you would estimate it was about 20 feet in front of you.
Yeah. Well, it ran. Yes, I would say it was further than that. I could hear it running towards me. You could feel it in your feet. Something hit the ground on impacts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could see it. You couldn't see anything. You could hear it coming through the leaf litters. You could feel it through your feet, and then you hear it stop and start pacing back and forth, like right in front of me, like 20 feet. And it was terrifying, and I was stuck.
That would be terrifying. Were
It
you
was.
alone at the time?
No, Brian was with me. We
Brian,
were both stuck.
boyfriend, or
And he was right behind me. We were both stuck, frozen. Both of us heard it. Saw the rock. The rock hit the ground so hard, you could see dirt fly up, and it landed probably 30 feet up the trail in front of us.
so you said you were stuck, frozen. They say there's like fight, flight, or freeze when people
Hmm.
are in terror. So would you say you were experiencing the frozen aspect of fight or
Yeah,
flight or freeze? Okay.
yes, because when I seen the rock come and hit, I was like, I was mad at first because I was like, what kind of asshole is in here throwing rocks at people? You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
I was pissed, for real. Um, and then I could hear something running, and we're both standing there, frozen, looking, nothing. Couldn't see anything. And it paced us out too for about
Okay.
for a minute or so up the trail, and then it just we didn't hear it anymore after that. And I went back a couple days later, and we didn't get a rock thrown at us that time, but we could hear it pacing us way off in the woods, way further than 20 feet, probably more like 50 yards this time. And
Now,
we promptly left. We left.
sometimes they say there's an accompanying Oz effect where the woods go silent. Did you have that experience also? Did everything fall silent, or did you notice?
Um, I did notice I had commented right before. Mhm.
Interesting.
I just said, listen how quiet the woods are. And
And then it all happened after,
yeah,
right after
I,
you noticed
I
how
have
quiet it was.
yeah, and I have anxiety, so I'm highly aware of things around me. And I
Hmm.
thought there had been a bear report on the news where a bear had been in our area, which doesn't happen. A black bear, they said, and it was in 3 of the surrounding counties, and they just said it was probably wandering around trying to find a new home or whatever. But when the woods went quiet, I know that means predator usually,
Yeah.
and I was concerned about that, or a cat, because you guys don't make fun of me, but I'm more terrified of a cat, a wild cat of any kind, than I am
Mm.
a cryptid, okay?
Well, they say with the cougars and stuff, they don't attack unless they have the element of surprise. So if you do see one, it's kind of too late. So,
Yeah, I, I don't like I don't like cats because they're like little ninjas. They're quiet. They'll sit up in a
yeah.
tree, jump on you. Yeah, I don't like cats. So I know they're rare around here, but it happens. And so I was more worried about that's what I thought was going on when everything went quiet. I thought there was a bear or a cat
Mm.
because I was in a state park that was woods. So that's
So
what I
this
thought was
is
going on.
how long ago did this happen?
That just happened in August or September this past year.
So this past year. Okay. So
I
this is
haven't
like
been back.
the Bigfoot encounter without the seeing the Bigfoot. And then
Mhm.
you said you'd had a dogman encounter. Did that happen earlier then?
That happened in February of
So
this
that
past
happened after the
year.
Sasquatch.
And
Interesting.
that was by accident. So
Okay.
oh, I
So
was in the land between the lakes when that happened. Just meeting up with Trisha and Mike from Monsters Unleashed
okay.
and some other people. Donna that's on Monsters Unleashed too. And just checking out the LBL. That's all we were doing. Um, Hanging out, and we were
This was a group
somewhere.
encounter. Like the
Uh,
people you were with also saw the dogman, or
yeah, it ended up being on night vision
oh, gnarly. Okay.
on accident.
You c- but you could see it without the night vision.
No, because pitch black and it was across the field.
Okay.
Only see it with night vision.
Okay. And so
I
were
mean,
you
if we
all
would have shined
had like
lights, we could have probably.
so everybody had night vision goggles on, or
No, it wasn't even like that. I told you guys I'm a nerd, so I got
not a
these
problem?
night I got these night vision binoculars, and me and my son James, we go outside because I know you heard this on David Flightus if you're into him. You know how he
Yeah.
says you can see UFOs with night vision, right?
Right. If you so you bought the high dollar. Was it a monocular one? Like a
No, I didn't even buy a high dollar one. I bought a $250 pair off Amazon. Okay.
okay, and that still did the trick for dogman.
On Yeah, but we were the land between the lakes. It's pitch black, so there's no light pollution. So me and my son are super excited because I live in the city of Dayton, which has all kinds of light pollution. So um, James got the night vision out and was looking at the sky for UFOs.
Hmm.
And what happened was he happened to bring them down and went across the tree line, across the field. And he was like, "Mom, can you come here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he was like, "They come have a pareidolia or whatever that's called, where you
Yeah,
think you see something."
pareidolia. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, "This looks like a Bigfoot." And he had taken a picture of it and a video, right? And I'm looking at it going, it's a little tiny screen,
Uh-huh.
and I'm looking at it. I'm like, "James, that's not a Bigfoot. That's a dog man. It's got pointy ears and you know, a muzzle." So
Right.
I'm going to get Trish because I'm like, "Gosh, is that a dog man? What are we looking at here?" And I went to get Trish, and Trish was like, "That's a dog man in a tree line." And yeah, I should have sent MoJoE pictures of it so you could post it. But you can
Yeah,
clearly tell what it is.
If you can find it, we'll post it. All you have to
Yeah.
do is add it to the present or a present or invite right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see. Hold on, I'm gonna send it to you. Okay,
Okay.
it should be on my phone. You can. I mean, it's crappy night vision. It's a little grainy because we were zoomed up, but you can tell what it is.
About how far away was it
I'd
through
say it was
the?
75 yards across the field.
You sending it through Messenger?
Yeah, I'm going to as soon as I find it.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to Telegram to you, Clutch. Okay, and you can present
Okay.
it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Excellent.
looking.
We have evidence.
Now, did you see its legs?
You can see them.
You can see the legs on the
Mhm.
on the photo or the
Yeah,
image.
just a second. I'm gonna send it to you. Hold on, I'm going through all these albums on my phone.
Yeah,
LBL,
no, that's cool.
February.
No
I got
problem.
it. LBL,
All right.
February.
Okay. I'm sending it to you now, Dr. Clutch. As soon
Okay.
as soon as I receive it.
Just a second.
Yeah, this is what I tell everybody. Like you can have stories, and those are fun stories to share. But if you can find evidence
You
of
got
stuff,
pictures. Yeah.
yeah, that is pictures and video evidence. Like if there's stuff showing on your property, that's
they
all
are.
the more. There we go.
Look, I'm gonna send you. There's 5 of them. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
One of them looks
Absolutely.
pinkish, because we ran a filter over it to make sure it wasn't just a shadow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Just a second. Messenger. MoJoE. Okay.
There
There you go.
Okay.
So we saw that, and then right after we saw this in the tree line, it was gone. You know what I mean? After it was standing there, then it was gone. Luckily, James got a video and picture of it, a still picture on the night vision. Right after that, these 2 other things appeared in the field, and it looked like a humanoid figure standing on 2 legs. But you know how a video game glitches?
Yeah.
They get Okay, it was kind of doing that, like it was trying to bend over but couldn't, and it was like stuck. So I'm like, what are we looking at right now?
They are
and,
sent to you right now, Dr. Clutch. Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
and
I'll
I'm
go
like,
ahead
what are
and-
we looking at? So I go get Trish once again because that's the first time I've ever been there, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Maybe they have some weird animal here we don't have in Ohio. So I go get Trish, and Trish is like, I don't know what that is. Well, while we were sitting there watching it, we were videoing it. On the night vision, there was 2 of them, and they ended up. This is so weird. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but this is what happened. It looked like the front of it was army crawling on its forearms, and it looked like its back legs were like a triangle, like a cricket,
Hmm.
and they were just crawling around
Like
in the
facing
field.
backwards, right? Like
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
cricket, like a A.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. With the knees
And
on
then-
the opposite side.
Yeah, it looked like a
Or
cricket
joint.
or a
Like
grasshopper
canine
leg.
canine
Did
legs.
you get those?
mean?
Did you get those pictures, Dr. Clutch? They're on your
I
Telegram
do
right now.
have them. I'm checking them out. So I definitely have questions about these. So let's see.
And then as we post them, we can do one at a time. We'll go through them all, and you can tell us like what we're seeing right here.
But the other thing.
Welcome to the Of Dark Matters, everybody. Getting ready for some pictures. Here we go. You ready?
Okay,
There we go.
So there's this one. Now, kind of in the center, I see like a shadow. Is that?
That's what we were looking at. See that how it's got like pointy ears?
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's
that's what
dark
we were
and it's
looking at. Yeah, and I'll tell you it wasn't pareidolia because when we went to take more pictures of it, it was gone. It wasn't there anymore. And we also have a video of it not being there. So,
Okay.
which
Got the
I've
next-
showed all this stuff on my podcast. You know what I mean? I even showed the video of the crawlers, what we think were crawlers out in the field, because Trisha actually drove her Jeep around there and put eyes on them with her, you know, those big bar lights they have on Jeeps and stuff. Yeah, she lit those up, and you can see their eyes shining and everything. So
Well, if you got that
I'll show
video,
that.
we
I
can
have
also post that.
I don't know if it's on my phone. I think it's on. I don't know if it's on my laptop.
Okay.
I don't know where that is, but I can send it to you if I can find it.
Okay. Yeah, if you can find whatever evidence you want to show us. Here goes another photo right here, okay? There we go.
So that dark. So it's lower center.
Yeah, and just remember this is night vision,
Okay.
and this is taken right off of my camera, my binocular. As you
So
can
what
tell.
is in front of its legs? Is that just like
It
looks
I think
like
it's down trees or
just some
something.
shrubs or sort
Yeah.
of brush of some kind?
yeah. We didn't even walk over there. It was freezing outside. We were freezing. We wanted to go over there and look for tracks. You know what I mean? Some other people had came. It got kind of hectic because there was a lot of people with firearms and everybody was scattered about. And something from behind us started coming over the ridge, so everything got chaotic and hectic, and we never even got to go over there and see if there were footprints or what the footprints or the markings were in the field from those crawling looking things. That's what we think they were. But we never got to go over there and look. And I hate that we didn't. It was just other stuff going on behind us.
Yeah, you know they say dogmen are like they come across as like scouts, like they're here for reconnaissance missions or something, where they're which kind of makes me concerned. Like, what are they like?
Well,
they're
I've heard-
taking notes or something.
I've heard that there's there's some organization within our government that has portals too that are just letting them in. That's what I've heard too. As crazy as that sounds too, I've heard that they like something comes
Well, how would
through
they
and they just
prevent them
release
from
it.
coming in? Like,
I don't know. Maybe that's the goal. I have no idea.
Do you guys want to know what I thought after that?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Because we saw what looked like a dog man on the night vision that you just saw. And then we saw those two crawler looking things out in the field. I literally thought the crawlers were scouts for the dog man. So it's funny
Oh,
you said
interesting.
scouts. Yeah.
Huh.
So
That's
it's really weird you
interesting.
said that because that's exactly what the discussion was between me and Trisha and James.
So when you saw the crawlers, were those also black entities or what?
They were
Were they
black.
smaller?
No, they were huge. And Trish said they were dark gray. She said they had hair on them. One of my other friends that deals with Dogman a lot, he thinks they're a mutant Dogman, is what we saw. Like, you know, you know how things keep reading over and over and they end up with something messed up come out?
Yeah.
He thought they were some kind of messed up Dogman. But they were down on all fours, is what he thought. But Trisha said they didn't look like a Dogman, that they didn't have a what do you call it? A
Snout.
muzzle? Snout?
A muzzle.
Yeah, muzzle, whatever you want to call it. Because she went over there and put her headlights on. And when she did that, one of them disappeared right in front of us, right off of my binoculars and right in front of her eyes. And it freaked her out, so she came back to camp because she was afraid it was like going to get on her Jeep or, you know, whatever, because she didn't know where it went. And the other one, just, I don't even know if it was still in the field when she turned around or if it had scurried off in the wood line or what, but they were big. They were big.
You know, I've over the my time using AI, I've been pretty good at beating it into submission, so it doesn't like hit me with a lot of propaganda. But I asked it. I said, pretending dogmen are real, asking it to suspend its disbelief for me. I had asked it whether it thought it would have been a hybrid, or if it would have been like a, whatever you say, complete whole species, like top to bottom. Like how is this made? So for example, is this done by inbreeding between dogs and humans, or is this made or is this just like an actual species? And I asked this with ChatGPT, and it did not hesitate to say that this couldn't be done by inbreeding, and this would have to be like a whole species, like designed top to bottom by its creator, whoever created this thing. Which I thought was interesting, because I was like, well, we can kind of put the idea to rest that this was because people will say it's an animal-human hybrid, and you get that a lot. And
what I found interesting is when they get into an area where there was once Sasquatch and there's dogmen, there's no more Sasquatch. Didn't we hear that before from a couple of other people that had these encounters? Like once the dogmen show up, there's no Sasquatch in that area. So doesn't it seem like almost?
I haven't really heard that. There could be some. I don't know. That would seem like there's some territory disputes or something. I don't know.
No. Yeah. Trish has seen them in the same place, and I do believe there's tales of them specifically in the LBL where they have been seen together and actually working together. If you've ever read like Martin Grove's book, The Beast Between the Rivers or whatever. So I've heard different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I've heard
for sure.
I've never heard them doing that, but I've heard of them being in the same place or right close to each other and also helping each other. I think the one story was,
Wes Germer often likes to report the accompanying lights with Sasquatch encounters. And occasionally I'll hear like the alien UFO connection. So some people say the lights might be like orbs or something, or like they travel in orbs, or do you suspect there's an alien connection with or UFO connection with Sasquatch?
There's definitely the orb connection.
Definitely orbs, but not necessarily like spaceships.
I don't know, because there's also UFO reports.
Right.
So, in the same vicinity of someone having a sighting. So, I'm still on the fence about that, but the orbs are definitely a thing. I don't know if that is.
Have you seen an orb or no?
Yes, I have. I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
At my sister's house, just floating across her yard one night.
Was it just a single orb, or?
It was blue and white, and it was a little bit smaller than like one of those blow-up beach ball things.
Okay.
And it just floated across our yard. It was like 20 feet off the ground and just floated evenly across the yard. Didn't do anything. It barely emitted light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Floated. Nothing to it. I thought it was cool though. But there are Wes is on it about the orbs. It was light blue and white.
Light blue and white. Yeah, every now and again they tell you which colors to be worried about, and I always forget. like which ones are safe, which ones are going to melt your dog, and which ones are. Do you have a dog? Did you say you had a dog?
I do, but I don't take her out with me.
Yeah. Is
she
it
don't
a small
act right.
dog, like a city dog, or is it?
No, she's a pit bull, and she's not nice to other animals. So I can't take her out. She'll drag me down the street going after a squirrel or a cat. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
She's a clown.
Do we want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, we usually take a break at close to the top of the hour. We could take a quick break.
Okay, we'll take a little quick break. Give us a little rest. We're going to take a little 8-minute break here where we're going to play a little bit of music and some art. I hope you all stick around, and we'll be back with the Of Dark Matters podcast right after this break.
We'll be right back after this short break. Now back to our scheduled program.
Yes, we are back with the second hour of Dark Matters podcast. I am Mojo the Mad. I am with Jenifer Hicks and my co-host Dr.Clutch, and we are going through cryptids, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Loch Ness monsters. Oh my!
Loch Ness. Yeah.
Loch Ness. Yes, indeed. And we are real honored to have my friend Jenifer Hicks here, the host of the Creepy Culture podcast.
Yes.
And the crowd does love that one, don't you, crowd? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Of course. So let's go further on down Cryptid Isle Avenue. You, me, and everybody else. Settle down, crowd. Yes. As we have another interview with Jenifer Hicks.
Yes.
Here we go. All right.
Oh.
Well, thanks for sticking around, those who stuck around or are sticking around. So, out of all the guests you have had on your show, which stories seem to have like the most like you're pretty convinced based on that and your own experiences? Who do you think? Do you remember any stories from your show that seem to stand out in your mind?
Hold on, I'm gonna go look. Let me go
She's
look.
gotta remember that. She's gotta go look. Yeah. I'm sorry if
Oh.
that was a hard question there.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
There's several people I like a lot. I like the military guy that came on talking about national parks.
Mm-hmm.
He was really cool. And he said something that shocked me, honestly. I know there's stuff that's crazy in national parks. I feel that they're containment areas. I think our government knows about things that are in the parks, but he shocked me because when he came on, he didn't specify. He just said he knew some information because he's military or was military, and that he had to go in and clean up carnage basically out of some parks up north and national parks. And what he said was causing the carnage, he said, I thought he was going to say Dogman or Bigfoot or something. No, he said a Wendigo. So
Yeah, I think I listened to that episode. Was this the guy that was? Because like technically with the Wendigo, you're not even supposed to say Wendigo.
right, I hate saying
Somebody
it.
was
I just
saying,
said that.
yeah. So you called it the W word,
Yes, because I can't believe I
not
just
the
said
N
that.
word, but the W word. Yes.
But
And
he
then
shocked
the
me.
SW word. The
Yes,
skinwalker.
the SW and the W. He said a W, and
Yeah.
I was shocked because I did not expect him to say the carnage was from that. And after all the stuff I've seen recently in the last year or experience, I already seen weird stuff anyway. You know, UFOs, and I had a UFO abduction basically, and where I lost time before.
Tell us
and
about that. Tell us
Oh.
about that. Do tell.
that triggers the crap out of me. But anyway, I was really shocked about him saying the W thing. I did not expect him to say that. So I'm like,
I
great.
guess in the taxonomy of this, they call these so the W type entities are also called cervids, and it has to deal with having entities with antlers or they're emaciated, and they have cannibalism themes. So there's a few others. There's the antlered man of Appalachia, the forest ghoul,
Not a deer.
the stagman, Wechuge or Wechuge, and then Leshy. Have you heard of Leshy?
I've heard of a Leshy. Yeah, forest spirit.
And there's one thing, what are they called? Duckway?
Rakes.
Well, those, but there's also the, oh my gosh, I can't even remember the name. Dugaway, something like that. There's those things too, but I think
I have a question for you though. So you believe these are flesh and blood creatures? I've often wondered if there were places that were. I'm not putting it down if they are, but like, are there places on this earth? I know David Paulides talks about being near bodies of water, and bodies of water tend to have an area where there's a lot of activity, right?
UFOs.
So what if there's places like the Montana vortex, a place where the laws of physics and human consciousness mix together, right? Like, or what if I don't know, because I mean, some of the stuff that I've heard about, especially in odd alien encounters, right? I mean, it runs the gambit from like did you guys know that there was an Alf abduction where the guy took a picture of this creature and it looked like the alien Alf from the TV show? It was on, and there's been sightings of men that look like a comic book character. There's been toys that have become like animated somehow, animals, like, so whatever it is, it may be a myriad of different creatures, but it could also be something that can take the shape of whatever it wants, right? Like, if it can turn itself stealthy, why wouldn't it be able to take on the form of something from your mind? Like, or what if it's, I don't know. I'm just asking some weird questions. I don't know what you guys think about that. What do y'all think about that?
First of all, I think most of the flesh eaters are shapeshifters.
Okay.
Second of all, I do not think that cryptids are all flesh and blood at all. No, there's too much weird going on with that.
So do you think they're like varies from like wraiths to plasma to flesh and blood to
Interdimensional.
what have you? Like,
I think
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they're interdimensional, and I think that they can become flesh and blood, but I also think they can be the orbs. I think they can be invisible. I think there's a lot of weird stuff that goes along with them. So I don't think they're all the way, like, all the time flesh and blood. I think they go through different
stages of
different
different shapes they shift into. Yeah. Well, especially with, like, for the typical Sasquatch track reports where see inline tracks and then they disappear.
Exactly.
And you're just like, well,
or they shouldn't disappear. There should be another step.
Yeah, there should be another step, right?
And there will not be a tree. There will not be. It'll be out in the open in some soft sand or, ground. That there should be another, even in the snow, and their trackway will just stop. Now, where'd they go?
Right. Yeah.
I really believe they're interdimensionals. Maybe there's just some place that's like a transit center for different doorways, right? Like, but it's out in the woods. Like, we think it's just the woods, but it's actually a major hub where you can go anywhere you want, right?
So my theory with portals is I don't know. I suppose there's like hot spots for portals, but I think portals can just be anywhere. Like, they can just. Well,
I mean,
decide
we're technically the portals too, because once you see something like this, then you start seeing more things, right? It's like something clicked in your brain that allowed you to see it, and then it just becomes from like what people would be considered paranormal to just normal. Like, once you see them, in my belief system, you see them, right? And you could be called crazy or whatever, but that's the way it is. That's the first thing that led you on that it was that encounter, right? Or that experience.
Mm-hmm. And why is that? Why is it that only certain people can?
Because there are some, if we're going to go on a spiritual mission here, I think there were some to be chosen for some unknown date to be awake ahead of time for some reason. All right? I don't know why
unknown
that
date.
Is.
2036.
Yeah, for whatever it is, it's the antibody to the mind virus. Because once you get out of that frame of thinking from having an experience and you realize you're not crazy and that there are others that share these experiences, especially when you share it with more than one person, right? It's earth-shaking. I don't think there's a day that goes by and any of the experiences that I've had that doesn't play in some part of my mind during the day, every day. And it led me to question. It led me to question other things and dig deeper into other things. And, you know, the more I dug deep down the rabbit hole, the more I wanted more proof. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think it's been interesting over the past, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, maybe, where these subjects are getting more serious attention than they've ever received before. Like it used to be, if you talked about UFOs in the 1980s or 90s, you'd just be laughed out of the room. And now you just go on YouTube and everybody's like, tell us more, you know, like
I could explain that. That's because internet.
internet.
People are finding their people. And
Yeah.
I think it's great. Also, the veil is thinning. There's way more sightings than ever.
Yeah, the
Do you
Do you
planetary
think that's
alignment that
due to
happened,
maybe
Dave.
population growth too? Like there's more people in the world,
Yeah,
and just more people are seeing this stuff.
Just in our city, they're constantly tearing down woods to build apartments and stuff. You know,
Right.
they
Which
have to
is
go
really
somewhere.
invading their territory, right?
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
tearing into their territory. They're gonna
Mhm.
meet up with us sometime.
Exactly. So they're traveling because they're getting run out of their woods. You know, because they keep building stuff all the time. It's ridiculous how much they're building stuff.
Yeah.
But they're getting run out of their homes, out of the woods, so they're traveling about. And I think the veil's thinning also because I feel like a lot of people, especially gifted people, you can feel it. You know what I mean? You can tell something's not right. Or I don't know how to. I don't know how to elaborate on that any more than that.
It's the call, it's the shift, man.
Or the
some,
sixth
oh,
sense.
something's not right. So I
Started
don't
with like, for me, it started when like time felt like it was speeding up when it first started
It was
happening.
slowing down.
Well,
Speeding
they're
up,
Slow
slowing
and slowing both.
they're turning CERN off on
Yeah.
the 29th, so we'll see what happens.
I felt.
CERN's turning off on the 29th?
Yep, we'll see what happens.
Huh.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm hoping things go back to the way they were before they turned it on.
You think CERN is bringing about some of these portals that things are entering through? Or...
Absolutely. I don't care what they say it is. Everybody knows better than that crap. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? They're fooling with
Well,
stuff.
they
don't
did
need to be
openly
fooling
talk
with.
about opening other realities and using a quantum
Exactly.
computer to map it out.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and it does look like a Stargate. You got a giant ring on the ground smashing particles. If
Yep.
there was ever a Stargate that looked like a Stargate, if you look over it overhead, you know, it definitely resembles, like, you know, on a larger scale, you know.
Yeah, they say that they're going to shut it down in June, but it's for a major upgrade, so they're going to restart it.
Super.
So, do you remember the weird the weird Shiva death cult ritual that was done outside of CERN?
No.
They had that Hindu goddess Shiva.
Oh, you got to see that. Yeah.
So yeah,
And then they said they tried to backtrack and say it was a joke or something, like we were just
Right.
joking around.
They're full of crap. when
Really?
they say that.
We weren't sacrificing to some.
Mm-mm.
yeah. Let me look that up real quick. So I guess this was in 2016. It was a human sacrifice video. So it became a big CERN conspiracy story. And so a video appeared online showing hooded figures in black robes, just regular humans impersonating shadow people, gathering at night on CERN grounds, standing in front of CERN's famous statue of Shiva Nataraja, the dancing form of Shiva. And then a woman in white apparently being sacrificed with a knife. The video filmed from an upper floor window as though someone had secretly witnessed the event. And then, so everybody was just like, oh, yeah,
Sounds like a
looks,
whole
that
ass.
looks bad.
Well, I mean, the shadow, the practitioners of the shadow definitely like theatricality.
Yeah,
That
so
sounds
CERN
like
did a
a
self-investigation and said it was a
Even
prank.
if it was all theatrical. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I'm
Why
just
They
would
saying,
you
I,
joke about that?
self-investigated.
that's probably
just-
legit. They do that crap. They do
Yeah.
rituals all the time. So, not good shit either. So,
They're
I don't
doing
doubt
the
that.
stuff that some Slayer songs only hint at doing. So
Exactly. Right?
yeah,
Yeah, right in front of our faces.
yeah.
Mhm. They do it.
Yeah.
The symbolism's everywhere. You can see it in videos, music videos. You can see it in movies. And I'll forever say this: movies tell stuff. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I think
Preemptive
MoJoE kind of
program.
believes that. MoJoE's a big movie conspiracy guy.
Preemptive programming, yes, I believe in
Yeah,
preemptive programming. They usually do it a year or 2 years, sometimes ahead of
Predictive
time.
programming. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, just to get you used to the idea of certain things
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what it
too.
is.
So it's not much of a shock when it happens. They know they do that. Isn't that right, NSA? Isn't that right, CIA? Yeah.
Yes.
Just like War of the
Isn't
Worlds.
that right, Israel?
The aliens come out of the ground. That's pretty factual because they're in the water and everything else. And then, Predator. Look at the Predator. People's actually
Yeah, the
filmed
Predator
stuff
is like that.
looks like
That's
it's
creepy.
Yeah.
It took me 100 years to finally see that movie.
There's been sightings of that shit. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
About where human consciousness projects something. Or are they putting something into our consciousness that really exists?
I
Is
think
it
they're
based on something? I mean, who knows? Like, who knows? But like, yeah, that's one of them. Some people have seen it like a predator entity.
that's just a couple things. That's just a couple samples. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
look at The Simpsons, how accurate. I know y'all have seen that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty weird with The Simpsons. Now, Jennifer, riddle me this: are you of a particular religious persuasion at all?
I was brought up, my papa was a preacher. They were Southern Baptist.
Okay.
So I was brought up going to Sunday school and church at a Baptist church, but I don't go to church. I believe in God and I pray every day, but I go talk to God out in nature.
Hmm.
So I don't go to church. I do it my own way.
Would you still say you're of a Christian stripe, or just spiritual, or what would you?
I don't know what you would call that. I mean,
Okay.
I believe
Well,
in
one
God
of the-
and I pray, and I believe
the-
what the Bible says. Like, for instance, I believe we live in a firmament, just like it says in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Firmament? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of the
Amen.
reasons I ask is, and Wes Germer believes this. He says that if you say the name of Jesus Christ, if if a Sasquatch is around or something, or a ghost is around,
They flee.
he
They flee.
that's what he says. However, there's a lot of reports from David Paulides of religious people that go missing.
Mhm.
So I always think, well, shit. If anybody's going to remember to say the name Jesus Christ in a cryptid encounter, it would be a pastor or preacher, somebody. And yet
Mhm.
there's all these reports of them going missing. And so my concern is like, or if you're Christian, like, does saying the name of Jesus Christ actually work? Or do you gotta just, I don't know, or are they just saying it wrong? Or
I
they
don't
have
know. Honestly, that is a pattern I picked up on Sasquatch Chronicles. I picked up on that. We were just discussing that the other day. This past weekend in the LBL, something growled at me, and I literally yelled, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ."
Mhm.
I did. I did that when that rock got thrown at me and they were bluff charging me and I couldn't see him. I rebuked in the name of Jesus Christ.
And you think that might have done something, or did something, or lessened the?
It made me feel better, for one, and for two,
Yeah.
I got unstuck when I said that. So I was able to proceed away.
Hmm.
So I don't know about the Dave Politis stuff. I've watched all of his videos too almost. I'm way behind right now because I got in a
Yeah,
car accident.
there's a lot of videos to catch up
Uh-huh.
on.
I need to pick up on that pattern in his stories and see what's up with that. You're gonna make me have to go listen to
Yeah, check that
Dave
out.
Politis now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
We're not just going to steer you right. We're going to steer you
hmm
right.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Here at the,
I'm gonna go pick up patterns on him now.
Yeah.
So
David Politis says he is of the Christian persuasion. So I don't know. And it is interesting though. I don't consider myself Christian, but I think if I shouted Jesus Christ, it would just be like a reflexive action. Because I say that when I'm pissed off in the car too. So if somebody cuts me off,
I'll
it's
tell
just
you
what I've
why.
been saying all this time. So
I say
I'll
worse
tell-
than that.
yeah.
Well, sometimes I think it could be like a psychic thing too. Like the own energy of your faith does create energy. Like prayer or whatever. Regardless of what it would be, but it seems to be something that is all of humanity has put their faith into, or not all of them, but a lot of them. Along with the other religions. So it would work. Whether it be actually Jesus saving you, or the ability to react like that and use that as energy or whatever.
Well, there was
Dr.
one
Clutch.
instance of so one of the alien abduction researchers, one of the big names. There's three big names. There's John Mack, there's David Jacobs, and there's the late Bud Hopkins. But David Jacobs, he did extensive research with abductees, and he mentioned the only person he came across that was an abductee that was able to prevent an alien from doing what they do during an abduction was a Muslim woman who was chanting a Muslim prayer. And I was like, wow, she wasn't Christian, but she did
No.
the Muslim thing. And I don't know if she chanted the name of Allah, but she did. I don't know what the Muslim prayer was, but I thought that was interesting that it
Yeah,
was
it's
somebody of a
faith.
different faith that was able
That's very
to
interesting.
It's the
rebuke
focal point to your psychic
somebody,
stuff
yeah.
to be able to do miracles and to do stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's called faith, but other places would call it magic. That's kind of what it is.
I think aliens are not good.
They
Yeah,
don't come
generally
in peace.
speaking, I don't think they're.
I mean, that's
although-
just my
Yeah.
opinion. That's
Yeah.
just my opinion because I've never. Well, I might have seen a gray, a tall gray, but the short grays trigger me every time I see them, and I'm terrified. And
I think they're kind of rude. They just kind of show up.
why do I
Yeah.
have that reaction? You know what I mean?
Why do you have the reaction that you're terrified?
Yeah. I mean,
think
why
it's
am I so terrified of them? And I've never, that I remember, had any kind of encounter with it. But I can't
Well,
even
maybe you
like that
did.
new movie that's out. Trisha's like, Jen, you're gonna get triggered when you go watch that. You know what I mean?
Disclosure
I get
Day,
triggered.
the Spielberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that yet.
No,
Me either, but I want to. But Trisha's telling me, she's like, I'm just letting you know you're gonna get triggered. I get triggered over grades.
Huh.
I don't
Well,
know.
you might have an
Be
experience.
careful if
don't
you go
remember.
down the David Jacobs rabbit hole.
Oh,
Tread lightly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
He's on
I went
the
down
dark
it so
end of
much.
it.
I went down the whole alien rabbit hole so far that it disturbed me mentally, and I had to quit going down it because.
So you've already been down the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Well,
But you're down
got-
the cryptid rabbit hole. Or the,
I am, and I have a conclusion on those too. It's like my own opinion, And a lot of
What's that?
people might not agree with me, Just like, I think they're not good. None of them. I think they're all fallen, basically.
okay. When you say fallen, that's like the
Mm-hmm.
like the whole Nephilim theory, where they say that 33 1/3 of the angels fell from heaven.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what they call the Genesis 6 conspiracy.
I don't
There's a
think it's a
book that
conspiracy.
it's actively happening. You mean, or it's not a?
It has, I think.
It has.
Hmm.
There's a book called The Genesis 6 Conspiracy by Gary Wayne, and actually Wes Germer interviewed Gary Wayne at length.
Yep. And I dove into it right after that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was quite an interview. Would you say you're on board with what Gary Wayne talks about?
Hmm. Yep,
Okay, now, a lot of
I
people
am.
are. I think David Paulides is kind of on that boat
Hmm.
as well,
Well, after
and I
you go
think Scott
deep diving,
Carpenter and
things go right. I'm going to tell you this, what I have researched from my own knowledge, everything leads right back to the Bible.
hmm,
So there's that. And then if you go from there, well, then that's why I have the opinion I have. Because I think aliens are demons. Um, I don't think cryptids are flesh and blood. I think they're the fallen, like I said. You know what I mean?
hmm,
I think
hmm,
they're the ones that came down and bred with humans,
right,
and that's
yeah,
their offspring.
yeah.
Um, Dogman, however, I do feel like military has a hand in that somehow.
Well, there is kind of an Egyptian connection to Dogman. I guess the god Anubis was a
Yeah.
Dogman entity, and
Mhm.
Anubis was like the gateway to the underworld, or he was like guardian of the underworld.
Mhm.
And so, if you were dying and going to the underworld, you would meet up with Anubis, and he'd get you there. And
He'd weigh you
um,
with I think like a feather and a stone or something like that. And if your soul weighed too heavy and you'd
Oh
had a
man.
bad life, you'd go to another part of the underworld. And if you lived a moral life and the
oh, is that an
feather,
Egyptian thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
I
feathering
think I
stone.
could be
That's
wrong with
interesting.
the whole ritual, but that was some of it. Yeah.
There's another pattern there too. Dogmen are seen around cemeteries a lot.
I've heard that. Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
But
Which
there's
is, yeah, it makes you wonder if they're doing, I don't know, some kind of underworld spirit work or something. Like it just makes you, because the reason they look like scouts, or they behave like they're on some kind of reconnaissance mission.
Prelude to a dimensional invasion.
I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure all that out because there's the if you go back
That's
to like my one friend Squatch Topic was telling me about dogmen and he's like they're cynocephali and then there's another one that's a different that doesn't have a tail and it's smaller and they're called adlets and I'm trying to explore all that and learn but then again there is the thing where there's a theory that the military got a hold of them and made a super soldier.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
um
I could
there's
see that.
So I'm tossing all that stuff around and the Anubis thing too, because my son got me on the Anubis thing, how they're guardians of the dead, and
Yeah,
that is a thing. That is a repeated pattern. Dogmen are seen around cemeteries.
yeah. That is
There's even one.
concerning.
Yeah, there was even one where somebody caught one digging up a grave, and I seen that before, but my
That's
one friend
interesting.
wants to go to that cemetery, and I want to go with him to check that out because you know that that
That
I
was
mean
digging up a
there's
grave in Ohio, or
mm-hmm,
interesting.
yeah, and I had saw it. I didn't know it was in Ohio, but I had saw it prior, like a couple years back. Uh, what looked like a video of one digging up a grave, and I didn't know it was in Ohio. And when he told me that, I was excited. He was like, I want to go there and check it out, and I'm like, I want to go with you, you know. But
Hmm.
there's all these possibilities. You got in the ancient stuff, there's cynocephali and adlets, dogmen, and then you got the super soldier theory and the Anubis thing. So I'm still trying to sort all that out and make sense of the dogmen. So
It's almost like they're looking to looking for lost relatives or something, or maybe there's something of a bloodline, or they're
mhm.
searching for one of their own or something. Like, why would they dig up a grave? Like, are they?
I
Or are
don't know,
they just morbid?
or I don't know if it was a fresh grave or not. I would have to ask him that if he knows. But
Yeah, that would be curious too. Would it be a fresh grave or older, or
because I
and,
get
and
that.
and like it'd be interesting to find out exactly whose grave they're digging up, and like was
hmm
it Ulysses S. Grant, or was it just some average person? Like how would you how would
I
you
don't
know?
know. I need to
You
find
know?
that out. Um,
Yeah.
but if he ever comes up here and goes there, I'm going with him to check that out.
Please film it. You know,
hmm
show us more footage and stuff. That would be great. Yeah,
hmm
I didn't know that about the dog, man. I didn't know that they hung out around graves. I just learned
They
something new.
do.
They really
Yes.
do. That's a whole pattern too. I pick up on all these patterns. My brain just works that way. I told you guys I'm weird, and when there's
You're
repeated
not that
things,
weird.
my brain picks them out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a pattern picker, and that is a
Yeah.
pattern.
Yeah. It is interesting. The what else was I going to say? They always say too, these dog men, is that they say they're more terrorizing than Sasquatch, and they
hmm
also say they're more malicious, or not just malicious. They're interested in making the observer feel terrified
They're more
and
aggressive.
more aggressive. I heard a report. I forget if this was Sasquatch Chronicles or if this was the Dogman Encounters radio, but it was in Washington State near the coast, and it was a report of these mutilations of animals that were like scattered across the beach. And the thing about it that keeps you up at night is like the Sasquatch seems like if it's gonna like take an animal, it's doing it to eat it. Like if it's gonna take a deer out of the woods, it's hungry and it's got to eat.
hmm
Whereas the dogmen, they'll just fuck around. Like they're
Well,
not
that's smart.
necessarily gonna eat you. They're out to like
That's
be
also a
morbid.
pattern. They
Yeah,
kill for sport. Yes,
right.
I've
And
heard
just to
that
be
over and
morbid.
over. hmm
Yeah.
hmm
And I found that pretty upsetting. I was like, well, that's not cool. That's
No,
not cool at all.
no, and I also had somebody on my show. His name's Ricky. He's ACRT on TikTok. I had him on my show because I had him on twice because
Hmm.
he knows a lot of information about Dogman, and I didn't know this, but he did, of course, and he was letting me know that they're cat-like. They're more cat-like than what you would think. They climb
Right. Well,
trees.
as far as like the gracefulness of
Yeah, they
how
walk
they
like cats. They climb trees and sit in trees. They chuff like a lion.
hmm.
Um, they do all kinds of stuff like that. They click kind of like a cat purrs. They'll click. You know how like a cat? Oh, see a. He sent me a video of a cat looking out the window and seeing a bird, and the cat was clicking. They do that. They have cat-like um, behavior.
Well, not to totally pivot in the wrong direction, but Snoopy from Peanuts, even though he's a dog, he tends to act more like a cat.
Yeah.
But you
Well, that's
wonder
what.
though if there's something about that, like where if dogs, as they
Mhm.
evolve more towards dog perfection, they they get more cat-like and graceful.
Yeah, he
Um,
said they're cat-like, and he described it like a hyena looks like a dog, but it's not. You know?
hmm. Now, do you think what do you think of the wolf man, or the lycanthrope, where the ability to transform from canine to human? Do you think that type of shape shifting
You're talking about
happens
like
much?
werewolves?
Yeah, like a werewolf.
Those are supposed to be a whole other category on their own. You
Hmm.
know, like they're not like they're different from Dogman. They're their own thing. Um, I don't know what to think about those. I would say that would be shape shifting though, but I wouldn't doubt it exists at this point. You know?
I think they're a little more European. I don't know if I don't think I've
Native,
heard a report of that.
native spiritualities like believe in that.
And shape-shifting, the werewolf?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are those that are sorcerers that can shapeshift. That's kind of like what the Skinwalker is really. Is
Yeah, you would.
a medicine man that's decided to go into the path of the shadow, right, the dark, and he becomes self-serving instead of a healer.
You know, that's interesting you're talking about werewolves because my friend that has been going to the LBL forever, he was telling me that there was a family of werewolves that lived there or had werewolves in their ancestry or something, but there's supposed to be 2 of them buried there. It's
Oh, interesting.
hmm So
They were buried as werewolves or buried as humans?
I don't know. I need to ask him specifically to tell me about that, but that's what I've heard people from the LBL tell him about that there was 2 actual werewolves buried in the LBL. So I don't know if like their family lineage had werewolves in them or what. So I mean, I'm sure you could research it and on Google maybe and find it out, but yeah, there's supposed to be 2 real ones buried there, and he told me about that, and I think it was also in a book that I read, and I don't know whose book it was that I read. Maybe Martin Grove's book or Barton Nunley's book. I can't remember. I read it though too, and then we talked about it. So, yeah, that's supposed to be a thing there, like a real thing down there. So.
Yeah, so with Sasquatch, I think it's one of the main cryptids that seems to have like a worldwide appearance, as far as like it has different names in different countries. Like in China, it's called the Yeren. In Japan, it's called the Hibagon.
Yeti.
And
Yep.
and it's called the Wildman or Woodwoes. I think in England, it's called the Yowie. In Australia. In Florida, it's the skunk ape. In Vietnam, they're called rock apes.
Yep.
Do you think like dogman are worldwide, or fairies are worldwide, or do you think all of this is a little bit worldwide, or do you have a global theory about any of this?
I don't know if dogmen are worldwide. Fairies, I feel like they are. I feel like a lot of the
Fairies?
cultures do talk about fairies. Yeah.
Giants too.
Giants, absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's something interesting about the dogman. Maybe you've heard about this, but in Eastern Orthodox Christianity, there is a saint, Christopher, I believe, who is if you look for Saint Christopher, if you do a search, he is actually a dog-headed saint. He's the only saint that it's not. I don't think he's portrayed as a dogman in Catholicism, but he is in Eastern Orthodox Christianity. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. Now I want to know more.
So basically he's the saint with a dog's head. So he's depicted as a cynocephalous giant man with the head of a dog. The origin, according to legend, he was a member of a dog-headed tribe from North Africa who was captured in battle, converted to Christianity, and was miraculously granted the ability to speak.
Oh, there's that word, cynocephaly.
Yeah.
Also, oops, I just thinking. Hold on one second. Canaanites. I had somebody was telling me about
Canine and Canaanites are like
somebody was just talking about that with me, and I was like, I need to research that. I want to go look about that because they were saying in the older Bibles that they were describing people in the Bibles as beasts.
Well, that is like the early Old Testament lore is like so. If you revisit the Old Testament, like the ancient Hebrews were constantly at war with their neighbors, and the perception was that all of their neighbors were beasts, and so they had to defeat all of their neighbors to make room for their own. I guess in the grander scheme of things, we would say that would be humanity versus the monsters of the world.
Mhm.
I guess that would be a one interpretation of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a lot of weird. I think there's actual books you can get of like monsters in the Bible, which is pretty fascinating. There's a whole, like, if you get into demonology and angelology, there's lists of the who's who as far as, I think the Catholic Church did a lot because they're into codifying things and telling the backstory, sort of like what George Lucas does with Star Wars, making sure every character has some backstory. The
Mhm.
Catholic Church is pretty good at nailing all of that down.
I haven't looked into that. I haven't looked into that at all.
It's definitely worth checking out. It's pretty fascinating. Yeah, just look for, just do a search for monsters in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
pretty interesting. Yeah.
Even
I always
the
like
tale,
to check out stuff.
like if you ever read the Tale of Gilgamesh, any of you, or listened to it?
I've tried a couple of times to get through
It's
it.
a little rough. It's a little rough. Yeah, especially if
Kind
you're
of a
listening to a
snooze
guy
fest.
in a British accent try to do it. That was
Oh,
rough.
right.
But
Yeah.
I did listen to the whole thing, and there was a being in there that they would call them ogres and stuff. I think it was called Hamwawa, and basically it was a hairy man. So was Gilgamesh's Gilgamesh's buddy too. Indiku, he was a hairy man that was described in there. So it makes me wonder, like, were we around when there were still possibly
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other Bible.
proto-human primates, and is this some sort of like genetic memory or something that's left over? Like, are they?
Well,
or
here's
they-
something about
yeah.
the Bible connection, the story of Jacob and Esau,
Yeah,
where
that's the one I was
Esau
talking about.
is the hairy man,
Yeah,
and Jacob was supposed to be the smooth man.
yeah,
And yeah, it's very interesting that Esau is the hairy man, and then you have, not just the Bigfoot reports, but also just like the wild man or the hairy man or the grass man or whatever. You just wonder, like, oh, are we looking at Esau or descendants of Esau? Yeah.
I know, because everything's been so misconstrued, and some of it's literally been, in my opinion, our history's been altered, I think, to fit a certain agenda, and it's frustrating.
They
Trying
say
to sort
history
it
is
out.
agreed upon set of lies.
That's basically what it is, and
Yeah. And so you have to sort it all out once you figure out it's
you really do, and you got to go back to older things to figure that out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
makes us do a
confusing.
lot more work. So when you go to history class, you're just like, well, this is just a cover story.
Yeah, it's confusing because you got to try to sort it out, what's
Yeah.
truth and what's not,
Yeah.
And
yeah. And there's
things were
also
misconstrued.
an overload of too much fear. I think fucking destroys it from you.
Mhm.
Especially when they're trying to make you emotionally always on or hooked up on the next thing that's supposed to be coming, type of shit, right? But
Mhm.
maybe that's all been put into motion so that we're not paying attention to what's going on in the real world where our ancestors did, where these things were told in stories and mythologies and stuff that we call today. And maybe taking a look at that, like, there are some pretty consistent beings. Like we mentioned, giants. I've heard that I've heard a conspiracy that they were using giant DNA to make super soldiers too. I've heard.
Not just the
I've
dog
heard-
man, but also the giants.
That's what I've heard, dude. I've heard these stories.
So Jennifer, you said
Go ahead, sorry.
you've had a military guy on your show,
Mhm.
and he was talking about the carnage in the woods. Did he mention any other type of paranormal stuff he was familiar with?
Not really.
Uh,
I thought he knew something about mermaids, and I asked him, but he really didn't. And because he had mentioned it, but he was just telling me basically they had to go into some national parks and clean up carnage from a W.
From a
And
W.
yeah, specifically that's what he said. And I was like, whoa, he blew my whole mind because I thought he was going to say Dogman or Bigfoot, you know?
Yeah, that is crazy. Because you don't often hear W reports.
No, I was shocked. I'm not even joking. Like, I about fell out of my chair when he said that. I was like, what? Or what?
So have you gone down the merman rabbit hole much?
I've tried. There's not a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Actually,
I
I would double check, I think it's kind of a big thing in Africa or African folklore
hmm
because they talk about the other thing you could check into would be marine spirits.
Hmm.
But yeah, I tried going into that because in some of, I guess, like Christian African folklore, they will tell you that Satan lives in the ocean and he rules,
Damn.
and and that is like where the underworld is like deep in the ocean.
I
And
don't,
it's
Cthulhu
like, well,
too.
that's a different
Yeah,
perspective.
Cthulhu's in the
Yeah,
ocean too. Yeah.
yeah,
there's
Cthulhu's in the ocean.
there's truth in all folklore. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's truth in all folklore. Um, in the ocean, it's hard to tell what's in it. Literally, like what? Who knows? Nobody
yeah,
knows. There could
yeah.
be
The
all kinds
ocean's
of things in the ocean. Um, I don't know. It says water's above and water's below, so there's that too. So,
yeah.
hmm
Well, of course, Politis is convinced that, I mean, more or less is saying aliens live in the ocean. He doesn't say it very directly, but
I don't think he's
uh,
wrong.
I don't think he's wrong either. Yeah, it actually, I try to ignore that when I go to the beach, but
Yeah, maybe it's like Atlantis. Maybe it's like Aquaman.
And you got his map, Dr. Clutch, right?
yeah, I got a few maps because sometimes he has a book on states,
Yeah,
and so he'll have
States
state
map.
maps in
So,
addition to like the overall U.S. map.
have
I
you
should
seen
dig out his maps. Yeah.
the United States one that I have? I actually framed it and I have it hanging above my desk. Um, there's a whole blank spot down the middle of the United States.
Right, he was saying that. Like, why is it? What's
hmm
up with that? Why is it blank in the
I want
middle
to
of
know
the
what's
U.S.?
up with that. It's
Yeah,
it's not. It's it's almost like it's on purpose that it's blank down the middle of the United States.
yeah, it's bizarre. It's
Because
bizarre.
everywhere else is dotted up with missing people, but not down that middle of the United States. And I'm like, what is under there? You know what I mean? What is
Yeah,
going on? So,
there's another one of his books I recommend is the Sobering Coincidence book.
hmm
Have you heard of that one?
yeah,
Do you have a copy of that one?
I don't know if I have that one or not. I think I have the Hoopa and the Devils in the Details. I don't think I bought the other one.
Yeah, the Sobering Coincidence one is if you drink, you'll kind of
Go missing.
decide not. You'll try to decide not to drink after 10 p.m. That's
Yeah, there's the one
uh,
in Ohio where that guy came up missing. It never showed him leaving the bar. He just disappeared out of the bar
yeah,
in Columbus.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember it being on the news, and he literally disappeared out of a bar. So, and that would lead to one thing. And like I said, I think he's good on the UFO track, but I don't think all the disappearances are from UFOs or aliens taking people.
right. Yeah, I think like in some cases, I think my next suspect would be like wraiths or predator type beings, as far as if it's
Hmm.
not aliens. Because I think if a Sasquatch is going to abduct you, it'd be almost a little too obvious. Like, then you almost have to put yourself out there for a Sasquatch to take you. But I think if you're go missing from a bar, it's almost like there was a spirit hiding in the bathroom, waiting to grab you or
Something like
something.
that, or you got zapped through the roof, and the only thing I know that can do that is a UFO. So,
Yeah,
What if
yeah.
it's
mhm.
just something that just jumps up and just goes, "Gotcha, bitch," and like takes you into a different dimension?
It could.
Yeah, that's what
well,
I'm saying.
that's what I would say. Like, yeah, the wraith, the spirit in the bathroom waiting for you.
Actually, David Pilatus has that one episode where those guys were hiking in the snow and they could see the guy and there was nothing in front of them. They could see him. He wasn't that far ahead of them and he just vanished.
Was that the one, the Mount Shasta incident?
I think it was, and they
Yeah.
were hiking and there was nothing like to obscure their view of him. It was some
Yeah,
flat
that-
land. Yep, and he
Yeah,
came up
that's
missing.
upsetting. Yeah.
Hmm.
He says when you go into the wilderness, there was what do they call that? Who was that guy? He had that FBI agent on D'Souza.
Oh. Yeah, John D'Souza.
Yeah, I think that was his name. So he was saying like those moments where you got to go to the bathroom, even though they're just going to the bathroom, you got to at least watch their feet. Like, so like the hold on, I got to go pee behind the bush incident. It's like, don't not watch, even though they're taking a whiz or taking a dump. You gotta, because
Listen,
he's
I drive my
like people
friends
go
nuts.
missing when they take a dump in the woods.
I drive my friends nuts. Trisha and all of them. I don't care. I literally will tell them no point of separation.
Right.
I'm not playing. If I
Right.
have to go pee, somebody's going with me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Hold my hand. I gotta pee.
Exactly. I'm not the one. I'm not going anywhere in no woods, off no trail to use the bathroom by myself. I don't care.
Yeah.
They're going with me
Yeah.
because look how many. Listen, this man is not out of episodes. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That's the weird thing. Like, if you take a break from Politis for a while and you're like, oh, he must have ran out. I'll go back and check his channel.
No.
It's like, no, he's got fresh content. You're like, Jesus, where do you come up with all this?
Every other day at 9 o'clock Eastern time, that man is releasing a video, and most of his videos have 1, 2, or 3 missing people episodes in them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's not running out of people that are going missing. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
distressing.
the one.
Yeah.
And I know I stress my friends out and drive them nuts, and I don't care. As soon as one of them starts wandering off, I'm like, no point in separation. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that is interesting. The point of separation pattern, as far as like that's when shit happens, or like when somebody feels ill and has to turn around on the path
Exactly.
and go back.
Mhm.
Like, oh shit, yeah. It's interesting. It always like when I first started hearing those patterns, you do that life review where you're like, was I ever hiking in the woods? And like, like, was there ever a point of separation when I went hiking, or did I ever do anything wrong?
I'm so paranoid. I check for lost time all the time.
That's interesting. Have you found any lost time, or is lost
No,
time?
thank goodness. But
Yeah.
recently I had a scare, so I was freaking out. So I am constantly, like, when we get to a place, I'm taking a picture because it's timestamped. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And when I leave, it's
Interesting.
timestamped. I'm like that. I'm a whole clown with this stuff because, I mean, it's a serious thing. I don't want missing time, but you know, it happens. It can happen, and you won't even know it.
Right. That is the distressing part about it. It can happen, and you don't really get a choice in the matter. That's
No.
what bothers me about it.
You have no choice, and then
Yeah.
you go the rest of your life going, where was I for 2.5 hours, and what did they do to me? You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
it's really terrible.
Yeah.
So
Well, listen,
Did you buy
everybody.
yourself a personal locator
question.
beacon, or do you have the iPhone 14 with a satellite connection?
I got a S25 Ultra with a satellite.
Oh, so you got the satellite. Well, that's good. Good.
Well, listen.
What were you saying, Mojo?
Oh, I was gonna say, we're gonna have to do some plugs. We're gonna have to go ahead and end this right now. So.
Oh, we are getting to the end of the
yeah,
show.
we're getting towards the end of the show right now. So for all those that were listening in, this was an interview with Jenifer Hicks. This has been the Of Dark Matters podcast, and this is where we shamelessly plug ourselves and talk about things we're on the internet for. So here you go.
Am I going first?
Yes, sir. Dr. Clutch, plug away.
Jenifer Hicks, it was great having you on the show. I'm going to go ahead and plug your podcast, Creepy Culture Podcast, on YouTube.
Thank
25 episodes deep, almost a full year in. Has it been over a year yet, or
you. I think in July.
July? Okay, yeah. Very
Tonight you're on
interesting
Monsters
stuff.
Unleashed, right?
You're
Yes,
going to be on
we are.
Monsters Unleashed?
Yeah,
What time
Rick,
is that going on?
it's going to be at 9 o'clock. It's going to be a live, and it's got Ricky, the Dogman guy that I was talking about I had on my show. He's going to be on their show tonight. He's
Nice.
If you want to know about Dogman, he's pretty
He's the
logically smart about it. Yeah.
All right, so for those who are listening in, watch Monsters Unleashed here on YouTube with Jenifer Hicks.
guy. Yes.
And a man who knows about dogmen, Ricky, right? Ricky's his name?
Yeah, Ricky. Yeah, Ricky. He's
Right.
real good about it.
Nice. Anything
Very
else
cool.
you'd like to plug, Dr. Clutch, before we get Jenifer Hicks do so?
Got a Substack, drclutch.substack.com. You can check out my music at clutchnificent.com. And don't forget to check out MoJoE the Mad's AI music over at suno.com. Great stuff. My favorite gothic hit called Cheesecake and Razor Blades. Great stuff MoJoE comes up with. And with that, what do you have to plug, Jenifer?
I'm just Creepy Culture on Facebook, Creepy Culture on X, Creepy Culture PC Gen on YouTube, and Creepy Culture PC on TikTok. Oh, and if you want to email me, it's creepyculture@yahoo.com.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And I am MoJoE the Mad, and this has been the Of Dark Matters podcast, and I can be found on SoundCloud under MoJoE the Mad Dramalong Ding Dongs, where I play old music that I have composed over the years, both electronic and rock and roll, with other people that hope they are all well. You can also find our old podcast before it became Of Dark Matters podcast on SoundCloud under Please Stand By, where Clutch was the host and I was in the background for most of the show. Anyway, I'd like to plug, I'm also MoJoE the Man on Substack and Facebook. You can find me anywhere. You can still find a lot of our old audio podcasts on Spotify. We have a whole catalog on Spotify, so go take a look over there. If you want to listen to some of our evolution as it became from what it was to what it is today when we were on Podbeam. We have all, not all the episodes are numbered, but they're definitely going to be there to entertain you. Let's see here. I want everyone to be good, man. I want everyone to have a good week. I want to plug this show. I want to thank Jenifer Hicks. I want to thank Clutch. I want to thank all those that are in our audience. Lawrence of the Netherlands and Whispering Portals. That is Laura, if you could check her out too. She's got her own show as well. So, and much, much more. All those that stay tuned and all those who've decided to come over here and listen to our show, both live recording and post recording. So I'd like to build all of you a really good night. Thanks for coming on. We'll be back next Saturday, right? We're on next Saturday. Who are we with next Saturday?
I don't
offhand?
know. I don't know offhand.
Let's take a look. It's probably the Ghost Theorist. I think it might be the Ghost Theorist coming up.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, so then for all those listening in, come back here, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, every Saturday. And we're going to wish you a good night. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Jen, once again for being here.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
all of us here at the Of Dark Matters podcast would like to thank all of our listeners that tune in to us every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for listening and good night. This has been a production of MoJoE Mojito Production.